Okay, I'm at 17 Monteray Avenue in Oakwood, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. Doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. So what we're looking for is any structural issues, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. Root intrusion, based off the age and material of this house. It's going to be cast iron inside and then switching to clay on the exterior, most likely. The access point is the rear right corner of the basement floor. There is a stack underneath the steps, but the cap has never been removed and it doesn't want to come out, so I don't have access to that clean out. This is the only accessible opening to the line, and this has a sweep in it, meaning that it's going to send the camera downstream or outside, and so it's probably about 20 feet of pipe between the stack under the steps and this clean out. It just means that we won't be able to inspect that 20 feet of pipe. Most issues we find are on the exterior, and so we will be limited to going from this point on. So basically it'll go straight out of the house and probably switch over pipe materials pretty quickly. I want to note a couple things about cast iron. Cast iron is a little more susceptible to soft clogs, meaning toilet paper clogs, wet wipes are definitely something you want to steer clear of. They say they're flushable, they're not. And with rust, it gets rough and it can easily, grab those things and they don't break down, so then they can cause clogs fairly easily. Also, there's really no good way of gauging the life expectancy of cast iron. It does rust. They say roughly about 75 years is about how long the lines are supposed to last. But you never really can tell. There's some really good stuff that was made in the 40s and some bad stuff that was made in the 60s, so it's kind of hard to gauge that. Just wanted to take the time to kind of explain that before we get into the inspection here. So as you can see, if I'm looking straight down on it, it's an immediate turn. You can see going down through, there's the flooring. As you go down, it basically sweeps, is what I call it, that it sends you in one direction, which is downstream, the direction of the flow of the water. And of course the camera lens hit some of the stuff on the bottom of the pipe, and so I'm just trying to shake it off here. So I'm going to run some water in this sink right here just to see if we can rinse that camera off. I might have had the water turned off with all the air in the lines here. Well, this should be going pretty quickly right through this clean out. So it's still pretty dark. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pull back out and maybe try to. There we go. There we go. Well, I think I was turning on the hot water, which probably isn't the best idea. Sometimes it creates steam and then you can't see very well. But yeah, almost immediately you can see there's cast iron here, and then almost immediately we'll pull back to the very tip of this, and then I will zero out the we're right here at the clean out. And so I'm going to zero out that's the base of the clean out, so you can look in the bottom left hand corner and zero out the footage, and we'll see. That way you can tell about how far we go before it exits the house, and it is only a couple feet. There is a tie-in coming in from the left, probably a floor drain or this tub, and then we go straight out into clay we discussed. And clay is a good material. It's been around for 100 years. There's really no consistent degradation like there is with cast iron. And so we're looking for is the biggest thing we usually see with clay is root intrusion. Just due to the fact that if you notice there's a connection about every 3 feet with clay pipe, and so there's just a lot of connections, and with age just comes a lot of opportunity, just with little tiny openings on those connections that can allow tiny finger roots in and such. This line does go out the back, so the sewer main is in the rear of the property. That little bit of water is nothing to be concerned of. That camera lens is only about a ½ an inch off the bottom of the pipe, and so in a 6-inch pipe there's very, very little water. And so usually when you pull back, it doesn't do that. When I'm pushing, it kind of plows up in front of the camera head and can cover the lens a little bit. So hopefully we can get out to the main, we can rinse the camera head off, we'll be able to see better on the way back. So yeah, so far the silence is good news. There's really nothing to report yet, and we've made it all the way to the main. You can see here a little opening there is a connection where the pipe from the house connects to the opening on the main to allow it to connect, and you can see a little bit of separation there. That's not a problem. It's not obstructing flow, but if it ever did cause an issue, that is something that would be the responsibility of the sewer department to repair. That is their tap. So just so there, like you can say, there's a little bit of gap in between the end of the pipe and the hole in the side of the main that allows the connection, but that's not a problem. And so we made it 70 feet out. I'm actually going to drop the camera in there, and we'll make a turn. We'll see if we can get the water to rinse off the camera a little bit to make sure that when we pull back it's nice and clear. Okay, so we'll take a little bit better look on the way back and make sure that there's no issues. But on the way out, I didn't see anything of any concern, so that's good. Like right there, that's a little bit of just like toilet paper that hasn't dropped all the way down yet, kind of caught. And sometimes you see a little bit of white, that's grease. It just comes through normally from the kitchen and stuff, and then it also from your fabric softener, liquid fabric softener, also does have like an oil base that can leave a little layer. So I believe the dishwasher is discharging now, so it's good. Get to watch the line flow as we pull back. So the line looks great, especially for probably an over 100-year-old line. This is what you want to see out of a clay line. There's no root intrusion. All the connections are nice and tight. No bellies. I mean, everything looks great. Should be coming up pretty soon on the cast iron. Here we are where it goes back into cast iron. This would be like a 4-inch cast iron going into probably a 6-inch clay line, so it's kind of inserted in there. Cast iron is always ugly, just because it rusts, like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, we are back at the clean out already and going vertical. So here we are. And so from this clean out all the way out, the line looks great. Nothing to report. Like I said, it was limited. I was unable to inspect, roughly 15 to 20 feet of pipe inside the house under the floor, just due to lack of access. I can't break into the line to be able to get access just for the inspection. So the fact that that's never been opened is a good sign. Doesn't mean that you can't have a soft clog like I mentioned earlier from toilet paper or something like that. But it's usually a good sign when something like that has never been opened, because they've never had to access it to clean it or maintenance it. So I really have nothing bad to say about this line. It looked very good. Again, all the joints look nice and tight. The clay was in great shape. Didn't even see any slight cracking or anything like that. The line was beautiful. So that'll end the inspection at 17 Monteray Avenue in Oakwood, Ohio.